Alrighty team, that time again. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope we're all doing well. Time to get this show on the road, guys. So without further ado, as always guys, good morning, good afternoon, a very good evening, no matter where we are around the world. Looking forward to again another London session here today. See what we can come up with. Been a good start to the week after yesterday. Charts looking quite interesting. Gold looking at a pretty reasonable level to start looking for potential entries. So as per the usual, guys, we will do the analysis on both gold and GJ. I will ask you guys if you have any charts you'd like me to look at, any pairs for me to analyze. Feel free to drop those in the chat, and I'll get to those shortly. YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit that like button. And TikTok, smash that screen for me, and I'll get to your question shortly. Without further ado, let's have a look first of all at the news moving forward here today. So 4-hour session here today. Not like yesterday, we don't have any high impact news scheduled, so relatively quiet news set in regards to news moving forward into our session. Into NY though, not great deal anything that's really high impact. Got some orange fold news to come later on for the US dollar, so should be pretty smooth sailing in regards to the news, with more high impact news to come moving forward tomorrow. So guys, without further ado, let's get started with the analysis, and I will start with, as per usual, I'll have a look at gold. So starting on that weekly time frame, and what we can see is the weekly, again based still off that previous weekly candle at this point. And that was as I mentioned yesterday, a strong bullish candle, the way I determine it. Has to close above from bottom to top, the 50%, the body itself, and it has done so. So based off that strong bullish, the current candle itself is an inside bar candle. Still very early into proceedings for the week. However, what we can see on the daily, we did close back another bearish candle. So the high time frames started to suggest that maybe we could pull back a little bit further. As far as structure, nothing at all has changed here on the daily. It's still technically bullish. Current daily candle and inside bar candle. Not gonna mark anything just yet. We'll wait till we go down to the 4-hour time frame. Now onto the 4-hour. and we are still, the way I see it, we are technically bullish on the 4 hour. So we've got the daily bullish, 4 hour bullish, weekly also bullish. So the bias is definitely going to be bullish yet again. 4 hours just now stuck in a bit of a range here. I'm going to mark in the resistance up the highs of this current range around at 30.23 to 30.33 level, and we've also got support around that 30.07 to pretty much 30k 3k flat, and that is the current 4 hour range. So we're just chopping about a bit at the moment, but we are technically, the way I see it, technically bullish. Onto the 30-minute time frame, and that still remains bearish as long as we remain below this swing point here at 30.38, roughly 39. Technically still going to be bearish in structure on the 30-minute time frame. So therefore, once again guys, my bias is still bullish. Just going to adjust this zone a little bit, but I would also definitely consider the sells based off the back of the daily candles, the way the daily candles have been forming, and also off the back of the fact that the 30-minute structure is technically bearish. So what I can see, just kneeing these zones up a little bit, within the current daily candle, we have obviously just recently formed a support. So we created a low today during the Asian session. We've since broken the daily high, pull back to a previous minor support formed during the day. So I'm going to just mark in this level just here, change that to blue to signify a weaker minor zone. It's the same level on the 15. And what I'd be looking for just now on gold, for first of all, potential sell options, if we were to begin to close below most recent support formed within the daily candle on the move back up, seeing we are forming bullish, then I would at that point look for my potential option to sell from around that 30, below 30.14, that sort of region, to take it back down to first around that 30.10, and then potentially all the way down to 30.05. So that is the first potential sell option. Now, as far as the buys, I'm gonna have to use the high of that bullish candle. I don't have a zone here on a 15, nor do I have one on a 30, so I'm just gonna have to use that as my zone. And once again, current daily, so we are forming bullish within it. We've created a high, pull back to a previous level of support. We are currently respecting that support. If we were to begin to pop above the daily high, we do have a little bit of margin to the left hand side to potentially look for a buy above that 30.21 sort of region. So based off that, creating a high within the daily candle, I could look for a potential buy. Now, further options will depend on the closure in the next 4 and a bit minutes. Once again, we could have a pretty early entry here today. We close relatively strong, almost engulfing. What we've done just now is we've tapped into support, and we've formed yet again one of those liquidity candles, guys. So we broke the low of the previous candle only to pop up and break its high. So the probabilities now favor to the upside, in my opinion. I'm not going to jump in just yet impulsively and wait for this candle to close. And if we do close strong, preferably engulfing like we currently are, and I could look for a potential early buy to take it back up towards the current daily high. So it'll all depend on how this candle closes in the next just under 4 minutes, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. If we are to look for some potential buy options from the current level of support, fully aware that in the meantime, 3.5 minutes is a long time on gold. It could make the move without me. That's so be it if it does. I'm not going to chase it. Just going to patiently wait. So that is what I'm currently looking at on the gold, guys. So I am still bullish on it. I still prefer to look for the buy options, but I also do see some potential options to sell it once again off the back of the 30-minute structure being bearish, and further options to sell if we did pop up to the daily high. Similar to yesterday when we came to the stream, the sells we took, we popped above, broke the daily high only to pop back and close in the range below. We took the sell option for some profit. We had similar present yet again today. I will look for a similar sort of entry as well. So would consider the sells from the resistance. And that is pretty much it on the gold, guys. So what we might do is, seeing it's about 2 minutes and 40 seconds left of this candle until EU open, we might stick on with gold for the time being before we move on to have a look at GJ, just to see where this candle closes, if we can get ourselves involved in a early entry. Now, as per usual, if it's valid, what I need to see prior to any entry is a wick forming in the opposite direction. Without that, no entry. So that's what I need to see. Just quickly look at GJ. No potential entry for me just yet on GJ, so we'll stick with the gold. Just see where his candle closes to popping up a bit now. Yeah, so it's that liquidity drive right now. It's broken a low, now broken a high after bouncing off support. This sort of catalyst in price action, if you see it present at support, it is a cracking signal to take an entry. To be honest, a little bit rushed for me, seeing I just really come to the charts properly. And yeah, but it looks like it would have worked. So anyway, good to see it play out. And now my next option will be to wait to see how price reacts to the resistance. That is gold, guys. Hopefully some of you are in some gold buys at the moment. Coming off the 30, also looking good because you potentially got a 30-minute engulfing candle. My issue now would be stop loss. Let's quickly measure it to see if it still is an option. Yeah, you're looking at 30 plus pips with a target of, once you count, spread about 13. So I'm just not seeing it. I'm just going to chill. You know what? We'll wait and see how the candle opens before we write it off. We'll wait and see. Because if we can get a better stop loss based off the entry candle itself, still may consider it. But at this rate, at this stage, it's more unlikely than likely for me. But nonetheless, the high of the current candle on IC markets is 3018.63. So if you're looking for potentially a couple pips above 3018.83. So we'll see how this candle closes, guys. Five minutes tapping into a resistance, breaks its current high. The following candle, it's going to pop above that previous candle's high. Well, yeah, I would have liked for it to pop straight up, reject the high of that candle, pop down, close lower wick, then look to buy its broke its high again. So I'm just going to chill on gold. I'm going to wait a little bit longer and see where we're at. So we can move on to GJ, and then I will get to the chat. And let's start having a look at GJ and start in the weekly time frame. Look at that. So we have now filled the wick of that previous weekly candle. Once again, are we grabbing liquidity from this higher time frame resistance to potentially reject? Well, my probabilities would suggest to me that it's more likely we could continue to see upside, seeing we do have that high, low, high, high. So based off that, what I'm likely going to be looking for is, once again, within this candle, you guys who watch me on the regular know exactly what I'm about to say. Repetition, guys. The more you watch me, the more you hear me say this, the same thing, you know, easier it is for you to pick up. So off the back of the strength of this weekly, what I'm likely going to be doing is looking more so, seeing it's still quite early into the week, more so on a 30-minute time frame, to see what levels we've previously created within this candle itself, what levels of support and resistance. And they're likely going to be the levels I'm looking for either a buy from to take it back up to potentially create a higher high, continue bullish, or to potentially begin to pop below, close below, to head back down to the next level of support, which you'd look for it to hold to potentially once again head back up. Onto the daily time frame. Structurally still bullish, still rejecting this resistance, as we can see here to the left, which is that weekly level as well. So it's a very tricky level. However, that is a pretty strong catalyst on the previous daily candle. Not only that, we've got a high, low, high, high. Let's just mark in a high, and let's also mark in a low of the current daily, and we'll see either side of it what we do have. Onto the 4 hour. All right, so on the 4 hour, looks quite clean above the current daily candle's high. So we could definitely, by the looks of it, look for some options to buy it above that point. If we were to begin to form support and flip and break our own high, popping above the resistance here yet again to the left, there's a good chance we could make a deeper move into the range above that 195 flat. Our support still back at that previous level of resistance. So onto the 30. So we are bullish in the 4 hours as well, guys. 4 hours bullish, weekly bullish, daily bullish. The M30 I'm sure is depending on the, now it's depending on the chart, to be honest. This particular broker, it's bullish. I briefly marked up a chart for my group prior to the stream, and on that particular broker it's actually bearish. This is a swing point just here. I'll just show you guys quickly what I mean. You've got that 2 candle swing point opposite direction just there, whereas you don't have it here, so you could argue it's technically bullish. So what I'm going to do is mark in the support at this point here. Now if we were to begin to pop below that point there, what we can see, we've got some very clean traffic to the left. We also would have broken the daily low we've just created. We've also formed support just at the daily low. So if we would begin to pop below that support at 194.20 roughly, then I would definitely be considering options to take a sell, take it back down towards that 193.80 to 193.50 sort of region. The sells below, now the buys above would also be good. We don't necessarily need to pull the way back to tap in, because what we have done is we've tapped into a level just above the blue zone here. So we have tapped into a level of support slash resistance. Quickly looking at the 15. 15's a little bit choppier. The best thing right now on GJ would likely be to wait for a 30-minute closure. The thing is, on my broker, the chart's quite different, to be honest. On my broker, I don't have much of a range. Well, I don't really have much margin, to be honest, on the broker chart, which is IC markets just here. If I was to trade it based off the 15-minute time frame, let's just quickly measure it. Now, let's just say we were looking for entries above this point here. To that level, I've got 4 pips, and that is support followed by a resistance, so it could just reject. So at this rate, I've got to trade it off the back of my broker's chart, and likely going to need to wait for price to see how it reacts to this 194.70 to 750 sort of level. Above it, we've got some clean traffic to the left. So if we did pop up only to close above, we're breaking a resistance formed within the move to the downside within the current daily candle. So that would make perfect sense to look to buy it back up towards the daily high. And if we did pull up to the resistance only to reject, then once again, I could potentially look to sell, albeit against the structure and the bias. It would still make sense based off the way the current daily candle is forming. Which is obviously at this stage it is forming bearish after rejecting, popping back below the high time frame resistance here to the left. Now I won't rule out buys from a little bit lower down if we do pop down into this blue zone and form some support above it, but at this rate I'm likely gonna have to chill on GJ. We'll see how the 30-minute closes, guys, before I rule it out. But likely I need to wait just because of the back of my broker's chart is different to the one I'm using here on stream. You may ask, why don't I use my broker's chart on the stream? I don't know what's with IC markets, but it runs like a minute behind the others. I have no idea why. Done it for like the last few weeks. GJ looks like it's alright right now, actually. Let's check gold. No, see, gold's 2 minutes behind for whatever reason. I don't know, but it throws me off. But anyway, enough of that. Now I can take a little breather. I can say g'day to everyone. Howdy. So gold's still rejecting. All good on gold. Really be nice if it came back down and actually start to pop below to support. Alrighty, what have I missed? YouTube, welcome one and all. Franco, Carl, Lau, as always. Ben, KC, good morning to you, mate. Bartman, thank you as always. Yep, giving the stream a like. Sketchmas, Carl F, same as always. You guys limit order gold, not for me. No. These are the types of limit orders that have got me caught out trying to limit order from support when it's stuck in just a minor range. It's not even a big range. Yeah, so not for me. And TikTok to the 45 view on stream currently. Welcome to all the new followers as well. Thank you for following. I'll just quickly skim through the chat, see what I have missed. Hayden, good morning to you. Blum Yo TX, thoughts on GC, GCAD, I'm assuming I'll have a look at shortly. Gold, yep, so I just went over that. Normal, yep, just went over gold. Hopefully you guys bought the analysis. What else? I short a cranky dude, short gold from thread 30.20. Would 29.89 be too far of a target? What was the entry? 20. Alright, well, you're looking alright. Just bear in mind you're stuck in a bit of a range at the moment. As far as a target, look, you should have a plan, and it looks like you're looking for a bit of a swing sort of trade here. So you based off the higher time frame, so that would be managing off the higher time frames. I mean, it's not a crazy target, but it's got a lot of levels to break through in order to get to that point. I would realistically look towards the 3004 to 3000, that sort of region. But again, I'm a scalper, so I'm not really interested in massive moves. What else? Keys 92 gold. Yep, went over that. I think by soon go up. Yeah, could potentially. Zach, good day to you again. I noticed you mentioned wicks a lot. What's the significance of wick formations? Well, we just know that if you look through to the left of the chart, that, you know, a good 95+% would have wicks in either direction. So I'm not prepared to take a trade without a wick forming in the opposite direction prior to an entry, just off the back of the fact that, again, there's 95+% of these candles that have wicks in either directions. So I don't want to get stuck in something that's popping straight up, and then I've got you know, thinking in the background that there's a good chance it can still pull back down. I may not get to TP1 before it does that, so I'm not prepared to take that risk. I'd rather let it create the wick in the opposite direction, grab a little bit more liquidity before it's ready to move with the momentum of the previous candle and in line of direction I want to trade in. And again, it's just a solid rule, which is, you know, saved me from taking some error trades before. No name, GJ, welcome to you, mate, by the way. Yeah, GJ, so I had a look at it. It's just a bit awkward because my broker's chart, I've got a level that's currently right at, it's not the level here, because that candle is that's bullish on my broker, whereas here it's bearish, so it's pretty much just the red candles down. But either way, I'd be waiting for this 15 minutes to close, definitely, and this rate, let's decide to make the move. So again, it's just me sticking to my rules. And we chill, we see you yesterday, nice trade, stuck to rules, got the job done. The man who names these, yep, had a look goal. Honza, no, this is live, mate, this is not recorded. Live, check the charts yourself. I haven't been using a method to trade, let me say it works for me as well. Nice one, good to hear it. Peter, is your strat support demand, right? There's a lot more to it than just that, but yeah, I look to buy support, sell resistance. I look to buy above resistance and sell below support, that type of thing. A lot of it's based off simple signals and price action at my levels that I would like to get involved. What time frame are you on? ABD. Gold is predominantly the 15 and the 30. GJ, it's more the 30, but also the 15. Sometimes the 5. Thank you for sharing the live. Appreciate it. Do baby. Okay. Will, my strategy, it's Alliance confirmed trade. A.C.T. It is very simple. Do my analysis based off a few different time frames to determine preferable buys, but I'm not fixated on that bias during the week. I am on a Monday and Friday off the back of the weekly strength of the weekly candle. But otherwise, it's just determining what levels I like to get involved and waiting simply for price action to provide my entry signal. Second TP on well, there is no entry at the moment, so there is no TP for any real survive bulk. Yep, I'm looking at gold. So even off this 15 closure just now, still it's created a long low wick. Once again, you're looking at 28 pip stop. Or yeah, it's a little bit better just now. It's still also quite rough, to be honest. It's not the cleanest area at the moment. Ooh, I just want to wait a little bit longer. Blame Mio TX. Imlame Yo TX. I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry. Gold going support right now. Supply right now. So it's just really it's just in consolidation, to be honest. And so no, bias is still bullish, but I would be prepared to take sells as long as I got the right signal, the right level. Bill, morning to you. Tony Gold, morning to you. Beats, morning. What do you make of EJ buys on the hourly? I'll have to let you guys involved. And oh yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks pretty good. You've got the doji candle bouncing off previous support and it's now got a high, low, high, high. Pretty clean chart to the left. So yeah, EJ looking pretty good. Similar to GJ, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of gold, to be honest, right now. Members, here is your link, by the way. Yeah, I wouldn't mind for it, in all honesty, now to just actually pop back down and let's see what it does from there. But then pops up and closes above, and the stop loss isn't huge, above the most recent 15-minute resistance, and that could be a decent option. But the range is becoming quite narrow. That's my issue. It's a lot better either side of the current daily high and the support form within the daily candle on the way up. Or Bartek, the whole week depends on this movement. Not really. That's a pretty strong statement. And so on. Don't think it will retake below 3,000. Look, it could pop back down below 3,000. Anything could happen. Yet I'm not so concerned by that. I'm just concerned about the chart showing me why I should get involved in anything from, you know, with where I want to get involved from. Low 5.7 daily fair value gap needs to be filled eventually. Possibly, I have no idea. I don't trade fair value gaps. Didn't it just fill one? I'm assuming talking about down here, or yeah, I have no idea, to be honest. Just remove that for the time being and see upside. Yeah, fair value gaps, I mean, all well and good. If anyone, you know, if it works for you, fantastic. For me, I'm not broke, so why fix it? I don't need to trade fair value gaps. Never looked into it, to be honest. Marquez, GJ buy TP 195, stop loss 194.25. Yeah, it's not a bad level to get involved in a buy. and I think it's a fair target. What's this? Oh no, 4.25. Okay, so just below the daily low. Yeah, look, I can understand it. On the 1 hour. Yep, yeah, the 1 hour looks actually pretty good. Trust me. Trust yourself, mate. You just gotta trust yourself. That's what I would recommend. What we should all do. Trust ourselves. Took me a while to learn that, to be honest. We'll keep it on call for the time being. Still rejecting. Eluve, my girlfriend. I love. Yeah, Eluve. read these names before I say it out on stream. I love my girlfriend. What's your strategy, brother? My strategy is analyze, confirm, trade. Got death stare from the missus in the background. It's the name of the guy in the person's profile. Analyze, confirm, trade. Analyze, confirm, trade. So A.C.T, that's what it is. I analyze the charts based on a few different time frames, including the higher time frames, to determine preferred direction, and more so to see where we're at, and using the day, like the higher time frame counter probabilities, whether we have a high low, high high, lower low, lower high, forming strong bullish, strong bearish, that type of thing. Then I've got my levels marked in, usually on a 4 hour and 30, and I determine where I'd like to get involved in potential trades. Smithy, G buys for the week is short. I mean, if you're a scalper, why have a weekly bias? All I go off in the weekly time frame is the candle itself, and that is for me a short, so it's a bearish candle. If it breaks the low of that candle, there's a good chance it will continue, make a deeper pullback. I'm pretty sure my preferred bias was bearish based on the other time frames, but I can see options to buy it as well. Is that a strong support just now? Yeah, so it continues to remain above the 4 hour support. There's your option to buy it above that point there. 129.30. Look for a closure above, retest, continuation, breaking above the daily high as well, breaking above the resistance, closing above it. As far as sell, it's going to be tricky at the current level because you don't have any margin back down to the 4 hour level. Probably best to wait for it to pop back down. See if it does form support, potentially buy it, or even if it pops back up, only to reject and look for options to sell it. All right, let's focus on gold then. So 8 and a bit minutes left. We are currently rejecting. Could we get involved in potential sells? Let's see. Okay, it's before or after 4 p.m. Well, you're deaf, my friend. $176,000. Is that what you're saying? 0.8943 a day. I have no idea what you're talking about, to be honest. I'm happy for you, but it doesn't affect me, so you know what do I care? But nonetheless, well done. Can I check gold? Yeah, so I'm looking at it. There's no impulse entry for me. There's no impulse entry. I need to wait patiently for a closure. Very simple. There's no FOMO. There's no shit, I'm missing out. If I miss out, I miss out. It's not my trade. It's not my plan. My plan is to wait for a closure below. We're coming from above support. The very weak bearish closure on the previous candle. I have no confirmation as to sell it on impulse. I just chill and wait for a stronger confirmation, see if it presents. Smithy, all good, mate. Marquez, now you're changing your mind to sell before wild time 4 AM. Yeah, mate, if you've got a signal to sell it, by all means you go for it. I don't have any reason to sell it right now. I'm just waiting. Early morning buy. $54K forwards, a bit like that. Welcome to you, mate. Alan, what would give you a stronger confirmation? Closure below. Simply waiting for this count to close below. It's going to close at 30-minute as well, so a higher time frame, the stronger. You've got a bearish engulfing candle. The fact of the matter is, right now, it could just melt. But for me, there wouldn't even be a confirmation on the 5-minute as well. It's impulsive. It's not no catalyst. Even on the 5-minute, you don't have any closure below until potentially now. It's already pushed about 10 pips below. So for me, it'd be definitely chasing it if I try to jump in. I just need to wait for the candle to close on the 30, see where we do close, then potentially look for a sell off the back of that. Limit orders, a little risky, but the limit order would be actually valid more so in an interruption play just now. So therefore, the limit order would be set at the low of that bullish candle. Is the pause with a couple bearish candles, bullish pause, engulfing bearish candle, which validates a sell limit, back to the low of that bullish candle. So that's what I could potentially be looking at. So what I am going to do just now is to look very, very different on IC markets. Let's look at it on this chart. Am I looking at gold? No, I'm looking at silver, that's why. Yeah, okay, that looks better. I was looking at silver, I'm thinking, why does it look different? So on gold, the low of that bullish candle is 3014.83. Yeah, so that's what I could be looking at potentially. The stop loss would be back above the 30, and that would be roughly about 33, 34 pips. That's pretty standard on gold, to be honest. Discipline key is X key. Closes no bottom wick, sellers is no longer valid after 30-minute closure. Yeah, that's, again, I like your name, discipline, because that would be my rule as well. There has no low wick, potentially no strength towards the closure, and that the volume could have run out. There'd be nothing for it to necessarily fill. And what usually a lot of time follows up the back of a candle which closes with no wick, or low wick in this case. Following candle tends to pop straight up and ends up closing more often than not a strong bullish candle. So again, that's just time on the charts. Would again be a rule of mine to suggest it's not ready for a sell if that was the case. Thank you for all the follows on TikTok. It's Lich. Going short on GJ. Are you? Fair enough. I'm not. Alright, so gold popping back up. So potentially don't have a valid entry just yet. May still respect this support. MA, you only trade London session. I mean, for the majority, for the most part, but I do, and I will start to trade into NY a lot more with the time clocks changing. It's a lot more favorable for me, but that's with my team. It's a private session with the team. How much stop loss? Well, it's not valid just yet, and it doesn't look like it will be valid at this rate. Stop loss is about 33 pips if it was to eventuate. XAUUSD, go to you, welcome. So a minute and a half remaining, guys, and doesn't look at this rate like it will be valid. Now, if it is to close pretty much as is, the preference would be for it to close just below if it isn't going to close near its low, and wait to see the formation of the following candle. If the following candle was to hop straight down, approaching the low of that candle, only to then pop up to create its upward wick, rejecting the zone, then I may consider a sell, moving into the clean traffic to the left as it breaks the previous candle's low. XAUUSD, what I think, should I buy or sell gold? At the moment I'm preferring a sell, but I don't yet have the right confirmation. So it doesn't look like the limit order is going to be valid. Yeah, definitely not going to be valid. It all comes down to the next candle, the formation of it, if I was to consider a sell. So let's see, we're about to close. Let's see how this candle closes. And so it's closed, definitely nowhere near where I want it to close. We're still closed within the zone. It's popped straight up. So yeah, forget the sell. There's no sell for me right now. The back of that, that's a pretty weak signal. It's not even a signal. So not looking at any gold entries just yet. GJ is just in traffic. Really in some pretty choppy traffic, so a bit tricky at the moment, guys, but all good. We still got time. We'll see how we move in the next 15 minutes now, and we'll reassess come closer to the 15-minute closure. All good, man, all good. Bill, mate, how are you? All good, mate, all good. What's going on today?
Nothing major. Your charts have kind of like, oh, EJ kind of looks good. I'm still waiting to see how it closes.
Yeah,
Looking for some buy options.
yeah, EJ looks better than JJ.
I think even on the 30,
yeah,
the limit of what?
The 30, if this closed weak bearish, then that would be not a bad option for London Open for a potential buy above the weak bearish candle.
Yeah.
So the 15's a little bit off putting. Sorry, mate?
Like, the way I'm looking at it, if this hourly was to close a little bit closer to the top, to the highs where it will create the highs, I'll look for a limit order on this previous candle.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Yep, and it will be clearing this consolidation. Yeah, but based off the hourly, it's cleaner.
Yeah,
definitely based off the hourly. The 30 is not that great.
Also, I'm waiting for a closure on Euro USD. I want to see a closure below this.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is the level you mentioned yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember. All right, so what you're gonna wait for it to close below any particular level, or?
Yeah, just where you've drawn the zone. As you can see, it kind of matches with yesterday's lows. So
yeah, I think that's not a bad level. You still got a bit of traffic to the left.
Yeah, but those are just like bearish weeks. So
yeah,
I think if it will close below the bullish wicks there, I think it's good enough.
Yeah, and also you're breaking a bit of daily support. You're also trading lower low, lower high to the previous daily. You've also had a swing on the 4 hour. You'd be breaking the support form. So yeah, I can definitely see why you'd be looking to sell it below that point. And I think the buys would be also a decent option from, you're basing it on the hourly from above that point.
Yeah, because it's kind of like really created this consolidation here. So if it were to break above that and give a good entry point, then I think it would be good enough.
Yeah, you need to confirmation, which no other candle's done at this point. It keeps wicking up and rejecting, but if you got that confirmation, I think that would be a very good entry based off the hourly.
Yeah,
very simple. So yeah.
However, let's just take a look at this EJ for a second. If you look at it if you look at it to the left on EJ, you will find like it hasn't really flipped the structure on the early.
No, not technically. You're right. That won't happen until up here.
Technically, it's still bearish.
Yeah. Correct. If you're to be really technical about it, I agree. These are just pauses, just one candle pauses in the impulse to the downside. So yeah, so I see what you mean, but it just looks like it's at a better level to buy it rather than sell, like as you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the only reason why, because it's kind of like the structure is kind of like this internal bullish structure. Yeah. So let's see what happens from there. Yeah, it's trying to pop back up, but again, it is technically bearish. But as always mentioned, and you guys know it, you hear it, you got to ask yourself also where we are on the chart, irrespective of the actual structure itself. And at this rate, as you know and aware, it makes more sense to look for a buy rather than selling it at the support. All right. Yeah, as you mentioned, just have to wait. Yeah, need to wait for the closure. Yeah, rejecting just now is the GJ as well. So look at gold. Yeah, so gold still nothing just yet. Just need to wait and see how this 15-minute closes just now. One thing I am seeing is we have popped back above only to reject. Would really have loved to have happened for that to have happened below this level, to be honest, for it to close a weak bullish candle below that level. That would have been a really strong signal. And once again, tiny upper wick, and there's your entry. But we'll see anyway. We'll see how this candle closes. Okay, let's put a buy limit 194.28. Good level, yeah. I like it as far as the entry point, and that's fair enough. I've been looking into limit orders, and I do look at some, but more based off the 4 hour. I do take some, but not really on a 30. I don't trust the 30-minute zones as much. Yeah, so I think that's a good entry point if you are just to place the limit order. I understand why. M names D's, learn a lot just watching you live, so appreciate it, mate. That's what I'm here for. It's free education on daily, so
You know, some days we get trades, some days we don't, but we always have a good chat. And hitting the M5 time frame shows that it was just retesting support from my side. I'm assuming you're burning gold. Yeah, retesting previous resistance. So what are you looking for? Are you looking to enter back in this counter closing bearish engulfing, or? So once again, I'm waiting for the 15 to close, and if this closes right near its low, that would suggest a grab liquidity from the upside. I just need a bit of a low wick, and then I could potentially look for a sell, but I need to wait at least 6.5 minutes. Lord's family, silver has 15-minute close below. Let's have a look at it. Not really. I mean, it's pretty choppy. You're at some pretty strong support here to the left. Yeah, silver's a little bit messy at the moment. You're a capo. I have a buy. What was your buy? 1.5455. Hold on, I missed a few comments. Okay, it's TP 195. 20, yeah, I remember that was a resistance, so it's a good area. Zero hell. Yeah, it's been over gold. So to user, you have buy at 1.5455 or 55, so you're pretty much at your entry. I'd like to know what your confirmation was, if it was a limit order. For me, it looks more of a sell at the moment, if I'm to be honest. Let me suss it out in the 30 minutes. Also bearish, broken through consolidation. For me, I'd be waiting for at least a 15-minute closure below the consolidation and look for possible sells based off that, maybe even a limit order sell, because you kind of come from a daily high, so it's not like you just come straight from the middle consolidation. Get the higher time frames quickly. Weekly, obviously very bearish on the weekly as far as candles. Daily structure is bullish, but counter probabilities to the downside. 4 hour is bearish, but pretty close to support. I would still prefer to sell it, in all honesty. 30 is bearish, so my bias would be to sell it. And I think there's a good chance of coming back down potentially to 15440, 380, and then potentially 250. There goes gold. All right, so let's keep an eye on things again. It will all come down to the entry candle as far as the stop loss, likely, if we close near our low. It's not too bad at the moment. So what we want to see in the 15 is this candle, first of all, close below. We want to close near its low, because that would suggest we've just grabbed liquidity from the upside. Then it's going to be one or two things. We're either going to have stop loss above what will be the previous candle, the catalyst candle. Still need to wait for an upper wick and entry as it begins to break the low of our catalyst candle, as opposed to, which will be anyway, but it looks a bit below the previous candle's low. So once again, I'm just trading in live confirmations. I'm patiently waiting, and if I miss it, I miss it. There's nothing I can do. Just over 3 minutes to wait. Nordic family. I'm looking at AU. Looks similar to Euro CAD actually, but it's respecting support at the minute. Weekly, based off the previous strong bearish. Daily structure does look still technically bullish. Previous daily did close bullish. You'd be looking for continuation above the daily high. You're looking for potential sells below that previous weekly low. 4 hour looks also to be actually bearish based off that, by the looks of it. Just want to quickly do this so I don't miss anything potentially. That's the 4-hour range. Yeah, I'd be looking for sells below current support and closes below, and potentially buys above it if it does form a catalyst above it, because you do have some pretty clean move back up. So it's halfway in the range, and I just trade the minor range within the 4-hour range, and that's pretty much what I'd be doing. Back to gold, because I want to keep an eye on things. All right, so we'll likely come down to the entry candle. It needs to create a decent upper wick. Now, the preference would be for it to retest, and that could be a potential limit order option. Yeah, I could line up a limit order. 3014.39. Because what that would do is give me a more favorable stop loss. It'll give me about a 21 pip stop, roughly 22 pip stop currently. Well, that will be the stop because the high is not going to change at this rate with 50 seconds left. No, well, yeah, so I'm looking at potential. Now, the options are potential limit order back at low of this bullish candle, the low of the support. In anticipation, wick up, grab some liquidity, reject. Stop loss above the high. The other option will be needs to create a decent enough upper wick, and then you're gonna have to use that to, and you're just gonna have to trust that to hold as your stop loss and your entry below the catalyst candle's low. So there are your options, guys. Just gonna set small entry for the limit order, and I'm gonna keep an eye on the low. So we're about to close. What's the low on IC markets? 30.2747. Needs a bit more of an upper wick. All right, so I've got a limit order set. I don't have a sell stop set just yet because I need more of an upper wick to trust it. I don't have a stop loss. Stop loss is going to be too wide for the sell stop. You're looking around 40 pips. You're looking about 8-9 pips currently if you were to trust the high for current candle upon continuation, which, damn, these birds are loud. Can you guys hear that? They're bloody loud. It's all good, leave it, it's fine. Got an audience with wings. All right, so let's keep an eye. Let's focus, guys. So not in on anything just yet. All right, this is looking better. This is looking better for a continuation sell as well. Not just yet, because it's still not a wide enough stop loss. So the back of the current candle high, it's 10 pips. It's just not quite enough just yet. This is discipline X key is 15-minute closure and up to validate sells. Yeah, so the 15 in my opinion is usually sufficient enough on gold. So that's what I'm currently looking at. So I've got a limit order set, not in yet. I'm waiting for a little bit of a deeper pullback for the continuation sell. I mean, the other thing you could do is just have your stop loss a little bit higher up. Thing is, with the continuation sell, you want to be triggered in very soon. You don't want to get caught. You can trigger it in with about 5 minutes left until session open. There's a good chance the candle's going to leave a bit of a lower wick. prior to session open. You don't want to get caught in that pullback. So you'd be taking anticipation it's going to break and make the move in the next 5 minutes or so before it potentially pulls back. All right, so the next option, guys, is going to be this. And that is at 2.8. Hold on. It's very different because on this on my broker, it's a lot lower down. So if you're looking at this broker, you'd be looking at around 50, the potential entry. So what I would suggest is just use the low of your broker, a couple of bits below it. That's your next potential with eventually your option if it doesn't pull back soon to retest that zone and tag us into a potential limit order. Zach, so I've got a limit order set at 3014.39, but the continuation sell is also potentially, I mean, so let's look at it here. It looks so different to my chart and I have no idea why. It's the same broker. My broker, my chart got a much more of an upper wick than what we have here. What is the low here? Is it the same? 49. Similar. It's 2 points off on my actual broker's chart. It just depends on your broker, guys. And I'd probably have to stop just back at the resistance. And if it broke its own high, that'd be a good place to cut some partials. It has no need to pull back, break its own high yet again. What's some target of gold breaks Asia session highs? First target would be about 30.23, roughly 23.50. All right, so you potentially in a gold trade. I've not been triggered in on my particular broker. Waiting for sell at 30.22. For it to pull back. Gabriel, so it sells at this rate. I'm not personally in a trade just yet. I've not been triggered into anything. ZK HUD. You could look to potentially sell it to break zone low. But if it takes much longer, I'm just gonna wait for session open. And what would be nice if this candle actually closes back weak bullish. That would be really nice if it actually closes back like so. That would break a minor support just below the previous level. And then if we begin to break the minor support at session open, there's a good chance we could look for options to sell it. All right, so I'm going to remove my sell stop. I don't like it at this rate, to be honest. I would have wanted to be triggered in already. So I'm just going to remove it. Make sure I'm removing the sell stop. And I'm likely going to remove the sell limit very shortly as well and just wait for session open. So what I've chosen to do, I don't want to get caught in, it could make the move in 7 minutes. I don't want to get caught out in it creating and leaving a low wick. So I'm not actually going to look for a continuation sell at this rate. Maybe again I will though at session open, but I'm just going to wait for that. And a valid limit order will still be present at session open. So I've still got limit order in. Quickly suss out GJ, still nothing. This gold 3005 a good price, Umir. 3005 for a potential what target, or yeah, it's pretty strong support. Nice one, guys. Some of you have been in some nice trades, so good work. Yeah, just make sure you're not going to give back your profits, so trail your stop and things like that. Alright, so I'm focused on the 30 just now. Now, I don't want to get triggered in on a limit order before now because it's too close to London Open. So I'd rather wait for session open to be triggered in. And I still may look for a continuation sell. Just all depends on how this candle closes. We've got just over 5 minutes remaining. Now I'm just waiting for that candle's close. Again, thank you to all new followers, guys. If you could smash that screen, that would be much appreciated. Feel free to share if you like. YouTube, don't forget to smash the like button. We're looking at potential entries for session open. This 15 closes as is, which is currently a doji on my broker. And it's very different on this chart, but on my chart I've got a bullish doji candle currently forming. That would be really nice. There's a potential pause to look for a sell below again in upper wick prior to any entry. And we'll contemplate sell stop. So that is the other option. But again, not prepared to get triggered in just now, so I've removed the sell stop order. And what is the law on my broker? $12.33. So we've got just under 4 minutes until the session open, guys. Nikos, what's your targets for the sells? If I am to get involved in a sell, I mean, I manage trades as per my game plan, but a realistic target is 3009 region. Oh man, looks like it could break with 3 minutes left. Yeah, I think it's just create a low low. So I'm just gonna have to watch to see where the low of this candle is. And is what it is. Not chasing it. Sharma, so stop at 3001 might also be a nice setup. Yeah, I prefer not to just place a sell stop that far away. I see what you mean, but yeah, I'd rather just wait, see how price reacts to that level once it's there. Old. Yeah, it's making a move, guys. in the last 2 and a bit minutes. Cash PS reversal. Yeah, it's got to get to support first before we can contemplate anything like that. Foodie Zozo sell. Yeah, I was contemplating it, but I didn't want to get triggered in with just a few minutes remaining until session open, so it's what it is. It's gone without me at the moment. Can't be in all of them. Yesterday we caught a really nice trade. Today it's just left the station a couple minutes before us. Yeah, well done if anyone is in it though. Lucas Marshall pushed to 3,000 or 85. Big demand zones will fuel gold too. Yeah, and it could potentially do so. Not so focused on that. Let's go on. Bonsky.
It sound right, boy.
Yeah, we've got a really strong closure here, but again, it's made. I mean, that is pretty much the move. All right, session open. Well done if anyone did take some gold sells. Still got a limit order in. Just want to see if it pops straight up. Rap lifestyle. It possibly could have, but it's just not my. It's not the way I trade. But yeah, I can off the back of that would have been a pretty decent entry just there. Pedro, gold buy from that demand. Quickly do the rounds at GU back at the support, tapped into it, which is good. EU approaching high time frame support. AU rejecting, goes back above the support formed during pretty much the Asian session open. Euro CAD still trying to make the move down, still looking good for a continuation down in my opinion. EJ, not a bad catalyst to buy it based off the 30. You got a weak closure, still closing above the resistance. Broken a high, so based off that wouldn't have been a bad entry in EJ if anyone is currently running an EJ trade. Pound CAD, it's closed below some support, is definitely bearish on a 30. If it breaks its own low now after pulling back up, rejecting most recent support, could be a decent option to sell it. Yeah, the bias is technically bearish on pound CAD. Gojo not yet. Yep. Bombay FDM 28 29.86 burst. Maybe. Gojo Satoru. Also looking for a shot there. Yeah, I just don't want to flip. If it flips bullish and just not to be. If it flips bearish, I mean. Oh, the 5-minute interruption. Wow. That potentially could have been your first potential limit order entry. Yeah, missed the interruption on the 5-minute, but all good. I'm a trader. Sometimes we miss things. So just gotta move on. KVNG just took a buy from 3011. Looking okay. Have lifestyle, nice entry if it comes back up. Yeah. But again, I just don't want to create a low wick. And I would prefer it to happen on this M30. So that confident will drop. I think there's a good chance it will eventually pop back down to 309. 3009. Harry Mitchell, do I think the market is coming back down after this short? You know, there's some solid support it's got to cut through, so could easily just bounce at one of these 4-hour levels. Around that 3,000 all the way up to 3,010 really, the current level it's at. Ah man, that 5-minute. Yeah, so it's, I gotta remove the entry, it's gone guys. No limit order. Alright, it is what it is. What can you do? Unfortunately, not in it. What I did notice afterwards was valid entry at the low of that bullish candle. But it's a bit late and it would have made the move. Nonetheless, doesn't matter. What can you do? Not much you can do. Can't, no point dwelling over it. You don't get FOMO. You don't just jump in because you think you've missed it. I'm not interested in continuation sells at the moment. Because that was the move. To me, that was the move. There's this little margin now, selling it into support. It's just not worth it with the stop loss that you're gonna have to carry into the trade. Gee, that's all man funny. I'm glad you find me amusing if you think I am funny. Not sure about old though, but anyway. Oh. Everything going way down to a molar. GJ also, GJ's in consolidation. Not really. It's a bit of a mixed bag at session open. All good. Harry, waiting for a break, waiting for 3002, and we'll hop in and buy red confirmation happens. Yeah, I think that's a good option. Yep, deeper down into the support, that's fair enough. Okay, Joe, break and retest. Just depends what you determine to be, or what your definition of break and retest is. It's probably what I call a zone to zone trade. What I call a break and retest is a proper break and a proper confirmation that you've broken. So a couple candles, or at least one very strong candle, and on a preferably the higher time frame, so that being a 30. Then an actual couple candle pullback, minimum of 2, some 2 or 3 to retest, and then you bounce off that previous resistance, confirm support, and that is what my definition of a break and retest. What you might be thinking is, what your definition might be is this: closure above, retest on the following candle, continuation. Which again, it's no difference. I just refer to it as a zone to zone trade. It's same thing maybe as to what you're talking about. Yeah, unfortunately couldn't quite find the way in there on gold, but all good. KV and G, you're out. Okay. Yeah. No, well done. Well done. I don't have a clue why you bought it. Maybe it's just a level you've got, and then it could be based off of fib or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, Harry, I'm a little bit bemused as well. I'm not too sure what the confirmation would have been. But again, I always say, so many ways you can skin a cat. So just do whatever works for you guys. Me today, following my rules, potentially stop me from getting involved in maybe one break even, or even a little loss. But it also meant I missed out on one trade, which would have been TP. So again, I'm fully aware of what happens by having these rules, the fact that I may miss some moves. A lot of time it protects me. Seen many examples where I've not taken a trade because it's just not ticked the box and it's gone the opposite direction to where I would have taken a trade. Yesterday, got really good confirmation, made the most of it, had a nice win. Today, just a little bit more tricky to get involved in a clean entry in my opinion, so it's all good. On Goatsy, you're up 500, well done. Harry, appreciate it, mate. On Goatsy, I've missed nothing, put stop on high and let price trickle to previous day's lows. All good, mate, all good. Again, I do me, you do you. And, as long as we're all profitable. It looks like it could pop up to that level now, but again, me just following my rules, it's right at that lower wick now. So I'm not prepared to take it because it could now just close back up in the range above. So it's been invalidated by spraying that lower wick. It had a significant upper wick, it then popped down to create its lower wick. It's now broken its own high. For me, it's no longer valid on the limit order. And again, follow my rules. Looks like at this rate, I would be stuck in about 12 pip drawdown, something like that. 11 pip drawdown, 10 pip drawdown. Wouldn't be feeling fantastic. That's probably stopped me from taking a bit of a loss here. And that's how it go. That's how it is. That's how I trade, guys. Very rule based, very strict.
Hey, good morning.
Franco, how are you, mate? How's it going?
Thank you, I'm fine, and you?
All good, all good. Yeah, wow. Volume, look at the volume here. Anything for you today?
Yeah, maybe I'm looking for AJ sales.
AJ?
50. Yeah.
Wow.
No, sorry, EJ, sorry.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what made you
Euro.
decide on AJ?
Sorry. So the M50 didn't looks bad for some entries when we close below.
Yeah, you got a little bit of work though. Still got about 10 pips or so to make the move below.
But it's moving, so
Yeah, pretty significant move to be honest, based off the 15.
yeah. EU is also moving down, therefore.
Yeah, EU starting to look pretty good. Yeah, just have to wait and see. Look at gold now. A lot of volume at session open. It's what session open brings. 15 is going to close pretty much halfway from top and bottom to top to bottom. I'm ready. Gold's correcting in the high time frame. Potentially. Harry, do I re-enter often? What do you mean? Like, if I've taken a trade and I went the wrong way? Not often, to be honest. But for me, there's no re-entry because I haven't taken an entry, so there's just no entry at the moment. Yeah, so limit water would have had you in a bit of drawdown, but also would have got you to a level where you could have considered securing some profit. So yeah, it's just one of those ones. It is what it is. All good. Elena, sell time. Not just now. It's forming pretty strong bullish. You've had a strong 15-minute closure. I mean, for me now, what I want to see is preferably price pop up and start popping above that previous support. But otherwise, as soon as we get confirmation of support forming on the M30, and let's just assume that we're gonna get it. Preempt to strike, yeah. So therefore, that would now become my new range. And what I could look for is a bit of 15-minute resistance, a little bit of structure to form at these lows, and then off the back of that, potentially look for options to buy it. Penny, what's up, JJ? Nothing's just shitty price action. Okay, it's 162.34 here. DJ. Okay, Sharon wants to run and buy gold. Yeah, can we do, guys? Yeah, I'm not going to bend my rules for the sake of a stream, so I just got to stick to doing what I do. And unfortunately, it meant today nothing solid enough for me to get involved. However, what I would be looking for is, as I mentioned, a bit of resistance form. You want to see a 30-minute closing back bullish to confirm that support, and then look for a little bit of structure to form and price begins to pop above, close above the resistance. That could be option to buy it. GJ is a mess. GJ is an utter mess. big start at the moment. Just wait for it to create a clean move to cut through some of this crap. Pop up, either to reject for options to sell it, or pop up to close above, retest and pull away from that zone, preferably in a 30. Options to buy it. And further sells below 194, 170. Definitely very clean to the left. It is just an absolute mess at the moment, so be very cautious and careful trading. GJ. Harry, any thoughts on platinum? Got thoughts on it, but I don't want to personally say it because I don't want it to come across the wrong way and get it banned. Yeah, heavy consolidation. What level is that? Is that our 4-hour support? You could argue there's potential for it to pull back a little bit further. The underlying trend is to downside off this particular time frame, the 4-hour. Based off that, continuation sales look decent, but seeing it's respecting whatever for whatever reason current level. Let's see what we've got in the 30. Actually, let's go for it properly. Weekly bearish, low high, low low. Daily structure is technically bullish. Closed right at the swing point without closing below. So I determine that to be actually bullish still. But we can see it's making a pretty significant pullback. It's almost tapped into the support on the daily time frame. 4 hours bearish. That's pretty obvious. Yeah, so 4 hour and 30 is bearish. So for me, I'm platinum. Quickly look at the daily again, actually. Yeah, so there's the daily high. So there you go. If it begins to break the daily high, seeing its create a lower wick above the daily high, which is obviously the resistance formed at the daily candle, got pretty clean traffic to the left. So yeah, I definitely consider the buys above that point, above the daily high. Good, wait for the closure. That is the better confirmation. So a little bit like so. I'm assuming it moves with a fair bit of volume, similar to gold. Wouldn't take as much to move it. I don't think it's as much. It's as big as market cap as gold. No way would it be. I very much doubt it. But yeah, I'll be looking for the buys above. Sells below. Yep, sells look clean below that previous daily low. Definitely be interested in that option. And whilst this is consolidating, pretty choppy price action, not much for me in regards to this particular range that it's stuck in. So at this rate, I just avoid it and wait for it to either pop above or below. That's my opinion of it. I do like platinum, but not to trade. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get any minor resistance forming just now. No, Harry, actually, I really do like platinum, but not to trade. In Q, well, that is basically the same thing. That resistance, Levi marked in yesterday. A pretty strong callus. Look for sells based on 30. Oh, the 4 hour, sorry, and the 30 potentially. It is approaching a support. It pops below it. Excuse me, guys, about to sneeze. Excuse me. Yeah, if it pops below it, saying it's rejecting the 4 hour resistance, then it could be a decent entry point for a sell. In anticipation of a deeper pullback towards that 20.040 level. It's a big zone, but it's a big level of resistance in the 4 hour as well. Okay. Harry, yeah, that's the thing. We buy now, sell now. Again, it's if it's ticked the box, yes, but for me, it fortunately hasn't. Things are moved without my confirmation, so much I can do about the one issue now with a 30-minute engulfing. You're looking at a massive stop loss. So it's just not setting up for me at the moment. Smarties? No, I just missed my confirmation. Happened too late into the candle prior to London open. Wasn't trusting it with only 2.5 to 3 minutes left. But well done if you did. Well done. Brand, you lost 10,000. Well, I feel bad for you. Hopefully, it wasn't due to FOMO or anything like that. And you should have had a plan as to what you were willing to risk and accepting that risk. So, and look at this, gold's just pumping now. Elena, yeah, it is. Gibran, I can't just take a trade for the sake of it. I don't have any confirmation. It's just moving back and forward without giving me anything solid. So I'm not going to jump in.
That's a question to GU right now. It's bouncing from my H4 support there. Yeah, so and on the M30 it's closing, maybe engulfing. Maybe some buys to consider.
Yeah, strong confirmation would be the 15-minute engulfing. It's not going to end up engulfing on a 30, but at least you've had a strong bounce off that support, and within a 30-minute bullish candle, you've got an engulfing 15 to also base it off, and also liquidity candle 15. That would be a pretty strong confirmation.
One issue I have is because we are a little bit bearish on the M30 time frame, but on the higher time frames we are bullish. So the weekly and the daily we are bullish there. So, and I had also marked my buys in the area which you marked also. So therefore I'm a little bit indecisive if I could take some buys in this.
I just set the rule 15-minute engulfing. I'll close to 30 strong bullish, and that would be my rule. Because you don't yet have that resistance. So you need a single candle catalyst here. By the way we trade, and that will only happen if you get the engulfing 15. Otherwise, let's say it closed like at that point, then I'd just be going for another little pause and closure above, or a weak pause and potential impulse on the second 15 with the next M30. Yeah, I'd want a strong confirmation because he about to close to 30 and it's rejecting the 15. Yeah, and that would be the strong confirmation for me. That 15-minute engulfing. And look, gold now. Oof. Up and down like a yo-yo. 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 Anyway, it is what it is. All good. Nothing lost. Still well up for the week. Do need a brokerage account for Forex. We do need an account to trade, so just closed. Gold, £1,000, nice one, right? Think I should have held. Just be happy. I mean, you've taken profit from the chart, so just be happy with what you got.
That was a great example of not taking the trade in the last 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, I think the way it's pulling back just now. Yeah, it's line ball, because that would have, and it did actually make a move, enough of a move to get you your first TP. But also look at it now, and the amount of times I would have, you know, in the past got involved just leaving it in with a couple minutes left, session open, and just whisks back and then does this. You know, it's, again, I'd rather not test it. I'd rather just, that's it, the rule I've set. It had to break early into the candle. It didn't break early in, and now it's popping back up. So now it becomes a, you know, really a matter of waiting to see how it reacts to the current level and the level a bit higher. And based on where we're at, I would prefer to sell it.
It's pretty impressive. It reminds me of like a goalkeeper, you know what I mean? Like, it's just as good to save the goal and
yeah, it's a good,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good way of seeing, looking at it. And it's protecting, preserving capital, which is, again, it's just as important as you know, making profits. I think it's overlooked a lot of time because people just want to see the cash, the dollars. They don't really.
You feel good when you're in the trade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. The endorphins, you get that endorphin rush. The dolphins, you get that rush, the endorphins. But yeah, you also feel good when you see things that would have gone against you had you have got involved, but by sticking to rules, it spared you, you know, a loss. And it all comes down to getting involved only when the time is perfect for you, and sometimes it's not going to be perfect. It's going to make the move, and other times it's going to save you. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Right now, definitely wouldn't consider buys. Stop loss is massive.
Sorry, 80 closing interest right now, Justin. Okay. So very near to the low.
Yeah, the issue is, once again, stop loss. You can base it off the 15. Yeah, it's looking better. Yeah, I see a potential entry. It is valid. GU closed? Nah, definitely not. Probably looks the best. EuroCAD also made that move down to that first level I mentioned. Not a bad closure on GCAD for potential sells. Below the low of that bullish candle. GJ is just consolidating. NQ. Looking at this before, it's basically the same thing. What is the ticker in NQ minis? It's basically the same thing. I don't know why it pops up with the blue in the background there. Yeah, so I'm just going to use NASDAQ. It's the same. It looks the exact same. It's just the mini version. Like I mentioned, it's now it's not about confirmation sell. It broke its own low yet again. A nice strong catalyst. Closing right at low. Stop loss is an issue, so you have to back the current candle high to hold. This is stop loss. Projecting 4-hour resistance. Breaking below support. Pretty clean traffic to the left. 15 also looks okay, so yeah, that's what I would personally look at, but I would not trade this time of day. I just don't trade it. I don't trade anyway, but not into I look at it maybe, you know, an hour or so prior to MY session. Harry, favorites? Just, well, I only trade to gold and GJ. Preference is gold. What way do you want it to go? I'll make it happen. Whatever way you want it to go, my friend. I couldn't care less. I just need to wait for my confirmation. But yeah, anyway, guys, I'm gonna get moving. It's dinner time. I'm gonna bed for work. Good night. Peace, Marquez. All good, mate. Well done. Yeah, so now broken a minor resistance. See how it reacts to the level a bit higher up the daily high. If it rejects, see if it does form a minor support and begin to pop below the minor support, sell it, buys above the resistance. GJ's a mess, like I mentioned before. Let it cut through this mess and then consider trading it either below support or above resistance. And yeah, tomorrow, guys, I will not be on tomorrow. I will be on with my team a little bit later on, but I won't be on YouTube or TikTok. Unless I do a late session, I'm not sure. Unless I do a pre-wire or something, I'll consider it, but likely I'll just stick to the team. And yeah, otherwise I will be back Thursday. Thank you one all for joining. Make sure to follow if you have not done so on TikTok. Make sure to subscribe. Those of you left on YouTube, pretty sure all of you are already subscribed. And take care, trade safe, gold still moving, all good. I'll catch you guys soon.
Really,
I'll see you guys a bit later on. Everyone else, do take care. I'll see you again. I'll see you guys soon too. These guys, bye.